Well, there's an interruption I didn't expect to happen. We have a message from Dr. Light. Thanks for the message, I suppose. We still have a long ways to go before completing the main game, though. More messages about strange signals. It was already hinted about when we talked with that mysterious cloaked figure. When in doubt, in Mega Man, it's always Wily in some way. Greetings, everyone. My name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Make a Good Mega Man Level Contest 2, or Magmal 2 for short. During the last part, I completed Tier 2 and moved on to Tier 3. So before continuing onwards completing more Tier 3 levels, I'm going to explore this mysterious opening on the left side. Oh, hello there, Jewel Man. Let's see what he has to say. As you just saw, there was also the milestone for collecting 25 energy elements. I suppose there will be another milestone once we collect 50 energy elements. So for this challenge we need to keep hitting this jewel all over the place in order to get a better reward. I guess there is a secret unlockable too, but as you can see, it's going to take a little while before you can do it. It seems that we get progressively higher amounts of money or bolts as we hit the jewel more and more. Oh, that's neat. Well, yeah, Jewel Man can take our jewel satellite. After all, we did get it from him. So, in an extra part, I will try shooting this jewel multiple times in order to figure out what the reward for it is. I suspect it's an unlockable. At the very least you do get some extra bolts, so it will be nice for farming. Nice rock for granite, taken for granite, or granted. Oh, all the puns of this game. It definitely matches the tone of Magmal 1, that's for sure. Alright, in 63rd place is Combust Man by Peterdun with a score of 22.6. So let's see what Combustion has to offer. With 1 exit and 5 noble nickels. That's a neat background, a little bit on the basic side, but it works. I guess those fires on the bottom are instant dead as well. That was the easiest noble nickel to collect in the game overall, I would say. It was right out there in the open. I thought noble nickels were supposed to be out there or a little bit more difficult to get, but okay then. I guess this level author had a different idea. Okay, now we have the Neo Shotman. A little bit odd-colored ladders. The tile set isn't bad, it's just a little bit strange. Oh neat, we have the metal cannons. And the music is fine too, just a little bit repetitive. Oh, the Mecha Kuros, or the Hoppers as I'll call them. So far the stage is on the easy side actually. It's relatively tame in comparison to the enemy spammy and spike heavy stages that were in the previous part. SMB Tree, Chomp Man, and Megalondo. I'm suspicious. Where does this lead to? Wow. It leads to a screen which is rather hard on the eyes. Okay, I like the background beforehand, but this is a little bit too hard on the eyes. I would say to replace this background with something less eye-blaring, because some of the enemies are kind of hard to see. Well, at least we get a noble nickel for our efforts. And I forgot there were fires over there. Oops. Well, at least the checkpoint placement is rather generous. And I want to see where that room leads up to anyway. Once again, I'm going through some growing pains, or rather cursing my muscle and memory from Mega Maker, where my control setup was a bit different. At least we get 20 extra bolts for our efforts. That's appreciated. I'm not gonna take any risks here, so I'll just use the Hornet Chaser. Oh, and that loops up one screen ahead, I think. Yep, it loops one screen upwards. So that diversion was just for the Noble Nickel. Well, fine with me, I suppose. At least this was certainly more out of the way in comparison to the first Noble Nickel of this stage. I'm getting really lucky with the bolt drops. I may even be able to buy the final charge shot upgrade at tier 4 or something. I didn't even get the drop rate upgrade here. That's what makes it even more odd. Will this work? Yep, it does. The fires act like spikes, so the Sakugarne can bounce off of them. I haven't been really using the Sakugarne much, which is rather unfortunate because I've been using most of my other special weapons more often than not. Although some special weapons are being utilized less, like the Jewel Satellite and Grab Buster, unfortunately. And the Wire Adapter due to the glitchy setup. I'm suspicious. Okay, it takes me to the screen glaring background again. I suppose there will be a Noble Nickel somewhere, so we gotta be a bit careful. I was right. There was a Noble Nickel right over there. And a bunch of power-ups. Ah, I see. If we went up here instead, we would have seen that there was a Slash Claw block. Hopefully you can backtrack so you can re-get the power-up. That's been 3 Noble Nickels so far, so I guess there's 2 more. Somewhere. Gosh, I was worried there was going to be a Noble Nickel on the left. Thankfully, no. So far, the stage has been relatively on the tame side. It feels like a below-average stage in Mega Maker, I would say, with its own unique tile set, although parts of it are rather on the eye-layering side. Oh, there it is. That wasn't that difficult at all to get, either. This stage's placement of Noble Nickels is definitely on the easier side, outside of that 1 or 2 rooms which we had to go out of our way for. Oh, nah. Now we have an eye-blaring room. We don't even have a boss team for some reason. And we just one-shot Combust Man. Well, that was rather anticlimactic. Well, I guess that was Combust Man. Outside of the graphics and some of the fire gimmicks, there was nothing to write home about this stage. At least it was solidly constructed in a way. I just wish there was more active fire gimmicks that we had to avoid, because most of the fire gimmicks were rather passive, being relegated to spikes and instant death hazards. There were no fire bars or really any fire-type enemies, actually. There weren't even any hotheads for some reason, or even fire boys. It is a rather forgettable stage. Yeah, Pyro confirms my thoughts about this. Maybe if some of the enemies were reskinned or something. And yes, I agree that the Noble Nickels, except for 2 of them, are a little bit too easy to get. What was the scores again for this thing? Yeah, I would agree more with Juppie's scoring. Somewhere between Juppie and Aces, it would probably be an 18 with me because there's nothing that makes it stand out in any regard. It's so forgettable. Oh, hello, Kamusa Man. I already fought you once. Overused Dev Kit Boss Royal Flush. Well, I only fought Kamusa Man once, I believe, so we're definitely going to be fighting him a bunch of more times in the future. And I suppose his original stage in Rockman and Forte 2, aka Mega Man and Base 2, was a 4th stage. I don't remember. In 62nd place is The Dampening by Liquafool, with a score of 22.8, so only 0.2 score better. At least all of the levels in this tier have an average score of over 20, so that's appreciated. We're eventually getting to the average tier, or average scoring levels. Right now we're in the below average. Okay, 1 exit and 5 Noble Nickels. And we have Bubbleman's team. although it seems like a lower quality version of Bubbleman's team. I feel there's some compression artifacts. And it seems to be our first dedicated water level of the competition. I was wondering when we were going to start encountering those. And just like most Mega Man water levels, there are spikes everywhere. I guess it's fitting, and it's part of tradition. In order to collect that noble nickel, we either need to damage boost off that enemy, take a mandatory debt, or use the Sakugan, I believe. Let's see if it works. Oh yeah, we can bounce off of the other side of the screen. But you are forced to use special weapons in order to get across, though. I don't trust doing that, so... That's not what I meant to do. Alright then. I see an alternate pathway over there, so... Forced weapon usage of the Slash Claw, I don't mind it too much. We need to use the rolling cutter here. Wow, we have a lot of space to go by this stage. In the ceiling, that is. A key. We need to keep this key and unlock the door from the other side in order to get this noble nickel. Easier said than done though, because if you die in this engine, you lose access to all of the keys you have on your person. So in this case, for this stage, because there's a checkpoint coming up, you'll have to repeat the entire stage. Hopefully that doesn't happen to me, but I don't doubt if it... But I don't want to hold my breath in that regard. I know that happened to Flashman, I believe, during his livestream. That's where I learned about the key's properties. Well, I don't need access to the M-Tank, so I'll just drop down here. Now we have the jellyfish enemies, whatever this enemy is from Mega Man 4. Wow, it's indestructible. I thought it'd be like a spine-type enemy. Guess not. Guess I'm going down then. I wish there was a darkened indicator there. Oh, wow. That's a lot of mines. Oh, neat, and there's the gimmick of this stage. The one where your vision is obscured a little bit. That's quite neat, actually. Let's see how far this stage takes it, though. I don't recall how much this gimmick is utilized. Okay, it's stopped for some reason. And it's a nice touch that lanternfish's light actually illuminates some area. Wait a minute. I see a noble nickel down there. You tried hiding it from me there, but I have access to my trusty pause button so I can see where it is. I wanted to be a little bit cautious there because I don't want to get knocked into a bottomless pit. Or spikes. There are spikes everywhere, so I gotta be on the cautious side. I need to keep some of those pole legs up. That's clever. Well, this is a neat challenge. I just need to be cautious of where I fire my pellets, so I don't fire them all willy-nilly. Thankfully, the ceiling doesn't exist, so I have really high jumping, unlike Mega Maker where I bonk my head against the ceiling here. Oh, and now we have the bubble gimmick from Waveman's stage. And unlike Mega Maker, the bubbles can actually take us upwards, thankfully. The shrimp aren't being that helpful either. I'm just gonna use a Hornet Chaser. At least in this engine, there are a lot more ways to travel between screens. Come on, thank you. Oh, how do you open that? I didn't realize you could get crushed against the ceiling like that. With the bubbles, I thought it would automatically pop. Alright, I made it through this room. Apparently this block is immune against all special weapons except the charge shot. Well, this breaks the rule of color coding. There should have been a better symbol there. But oh boy, this took several attempts to do correctly. But at last I'm at this part of the room, and now I can actually procure the third noble nickel. That previous room with the bubbles turned out to be a lot harder than I anticipated, and I got by it a lot more easily than I expected to. More so because of the mines than the shrimpies. This room is also going to be a slight pain, so I'm going to be consuming an E-tank just to be safe. On the bright side though, I got a lot of more bolts. I was hoping it's going to spawn, but the bubble decided not to spawn. Also, those manta ray enemies are extremely annoying to position yourself in correctly. Sometimes they decide to spawn in the wrong time. And stuff like this can happen where knockback is crazy. Of course, the small bubbles will pop after a short while, so you can't rely on them to take you upwards. Combined with that mine placement, this is a slight annoyance to get it past. At least I don't need to worry about dying anymore, because I already got what I wanted. There is still one more thing I need though. And I gotta be careful here because apparently I can get crushed to death. And I still end up falling there. I wish the bubble spawned a little bit more often. At least the stage isn't too bad outside of that one segment. So I do appreciate that at the very least. Let's see, do I have to go left here? I'll go left. No, it's actually... okay, I can jump right on top of that one. Goody, I hope this is a checkpoint. And now we're introduced to teleporters. We need to pick a side. Yikes, I almost rammed right into those spikes. Well, at least I got the bolt there. That E-tank would be pretty nice to have. Well, at least that fell, otherwise I would have gotten stuck. That's a bit of a quick reaction required there, but... well, the checkpoint's here, so I'm not complaining too much. What I'm complaining about is the forced hit over there, though. At least the gimmick is relatively well introduced here, I suppose. Okay, I got the noble nickel there. I suppose that's the last one. But what teleporter should I take to get up there, though? Oh, it was that one, of course. And now we're out of the water. I wonder if we're gonna see that limited view gimmick again. It was only used for 2 screens, and it was pretty fun too. Okay, now we have the... whatever these seagulls are called. And we're above the water, have a whole bunch of bomber enemies. And that's it. Never mind, we actually have one more screen here. I suppose that was supposed to hide 2 E-tanks, but it's flickering so I can actually see what's behind it, so... there goes that challenge. Oh, there's the exit of the stage. No. Okay. Oh, it's a fake exit. That's neat. Am I stuck here? Oh no, I'm stuck here. I don't think I can get out here because these springs keep pushing. Never mind. I just need to tap my way around. So this last challenge is we need to find the correct energy element. If my guess is correct, it's going to be the farthest one to get. This one. The rest were fakes. Okay then, I was hoping that gimmick would be utilized further, the one with limited vision, but apparently not. And that one room with the bubbles, that one section with the bubbles, in fact, was a little bit annoying due to some of the placements, but otherwise it was fine enough. I totally didn't expect her to get crushed between the ceiling and the bubble. I thought it would pop. And the pole egg puzzle room was also pretty nice, but this stage didn't really conclusively execute its gimmick usage well. It probably should have focused on the pole eggs and the limited side gimmick. It started to overuse gimmicks like the Galaxy Man teleporters, etc. But I do like the general layout of how we dive deep into the sea, it gets darker, and then we get back out to visit Dr. Light's lair or something. I liked it more than Combust Man because it actually executes on its gimmick, being a water stage at least. The darkness area really should have been utilized more because that would made the stage stand out more. I believe if the stage was better designed and actually utilized the darkness gimmick more, it would have gone into Tier 5. Okay, in 61st place is Taco Man by Shoe Slime 64 with a score of 23.0. That's not what I meant to do. I'm trying to talk with you, Hornet Man. Oh, he's supposed to be strolling around, but for some reason he got locked in here. Anyways, let's visit Taco Man's stage, if I can actually... I didn't mean to press that. Hello? Thank you for moving out of the way, Hornet Man, I couldn't access it. Oh no, this stage. The one with the horrible music. Oh, I remember these Shadow Man platforms. I gotten used to it enough through my exploits in Mega Man Endless. That being, I really don't like these jumping segments in Mega Man Endless. It still isn't as bad as Mega Man Endless though, because at least you have a backup. That's it, I'm just gonna use the wheel cutter to get by here. It is possible, it is doable, but I don't want to go for it. Oh no, these. It's not as bad as some of the Mega Maker levels though, so... props to the developer, I suppose. I wonder what these butterfly enemies are called. I don't remember them being here. Gosh, I thought I was going to make that jump. Once again, I'm really getting used to the muscle memory for the stage, or for the new controller layout. Once again, I really wish this engine actually remembered the control gamepad setups I set, because for some reason, the engine keeps forgetting what gamepad controls I keep setting and keeps setting it back to default. Yikes, this platform is actually solid from below. Good thing I got it in the first attempt. That's a little bit of a jerkish maneuver, placing spikes here. Okay. And one thing I didn't comment on, other than the tile set, which is fine, is the music. Oh my goodness, the music is painful to listen to. If you played the music track by itself, it sounds horrible. One of the worst musical tracks in this game. Worse than Galaxy Man so far. I'm not taking any chances, especially with some of the odd placements of the Shadow Man platforms. And I don't know what's so taco-y about the stage at all. I don't remember seeing any taco enemies. The only thing that has any vague semblance to tacos would be the moths. Maybe they're attracted by the tacos? If anything, they should be flies, being attracted by food. Maybe they were flies. Well, at least we have a Taco Man fight. His posture reminds me of Elect Man, actually. That's a really fast attack. Okay, fires taco bombs too. I'm just screwing up dodging it though. He fires 5 of them and jumps to the other side of the screen. Okay, this is a fair boss fight, I suppose. He only used his giant taco throw attack once, though. He then relied on firing those 5 tacos at a time, so the boss fight was fine with me at least. But the main thing that brought that stage down were 2 things. The horrid music, one of the worst in the game so far, and the fact that nothing in the stage really relates to tacos, no food gimmicks, nothing. Only thing that has a vague semblance of similarity or relevance are the flies, or butterflies, or moths. I find it odd that Juppie gave this a 31 out of 50. This is... I would give this a 20 or 18. This stage is so forgettable and doesn't really capitalize on its gimmick or title. The title is really lying. The tile set was fine, and the actual Roadmaster fight was pretty nice to see as well. It was A little bit on the simple side, but it was at least fun to fight. It wasn't too frustrating. I didn't expect to see you here, Pirate Man. I would have expected you to be in the sewer or something. And this is a reference to Pirate Man's weakness, the remote drill, I believe. Or the splitting drill, or whatever the drill weapon is in Mega Man and Base. In 60th place is Candy Panic by Adrian09_01, with a score of 23.4. Let's hope that this stage actually relates to Candy in some way. And judging by the tile set, it definitely does. We have a musical track from Yoshi's Island. Why do we have an extra life over here? We don't have a life counter in this game, and I'm at full health. It just seems so unnecessary to put it there. Unless... Darn, I thought that was a hint for a secret somewhere. And I recognize this tile set. This is the tile set from Bio Miracle Upa, a Konami action platformer for the NES. I'm not sure if I can make that jump. Gosh, some of these tile sets are a little bit hard to tell where stuff is. Like here, you wouldn't think that you'd be able to slide down there. At least we have candy gimmicks at this time. I wonder if we're gonna have candy enemies though. That would be neat to see. It's a little bit difficult telling where stuff is though. As I said. But really, this is around the same difficulty level of Combust, man. Even easier in some ways because we don't have instant death hazards. Although the enemies here are a lot more annoying. We have a split pathway as well. Demise? I doubt that. So if we go upwards, we'll take the Guts Lift action. And if we go down, we're going to be diving into highly chocolate-filled... Oh, and they'll change the music once I go down there. I'll delve first into the underbelly and then I'll take the upper route. Oh neat, and now we have the cave team from Yoshi's Island as well. Nice job of recoloring the water. I wish the shrimps were chocolate shrimps or something. Or this would be a chocolate lantern ship or something, that would be also very unique. At least make this stage a little bit more aesthetically pleasing and more consistent. A simple palette swap would do, after all. I see the spikes up there. I see what they're trying to do. Thank you for the E-Tank. I will consume one now, because I believe if you pick up another E-Tank when you're full, it will not automatically apply. So now we have instant death chocolate, I suppose. And we have a Guts Lift segment. Let's hope there are no holes. Well, there are holes in the tile set though. That was rather easy. Okay then. And now we're out of here. I'll meet you back at the alternate pathway. We're back at this fork, so let's climb the mountain this time. I really wish there was a musical change here as well. Well, I guess beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. Now we have the annoying penguin enemies, who are infinitely spawning, of course, over a much more difficult Guts Lift segment. Thankfully there are no gaps yet. Wow, I almost fell down back a screen. That could have ended up with me falling 2 screens though. And now we have a long drop back over here, it seems. It seems that taking the upper route is a lot faster than the bottom route. I counted only 5 or 6 screens, whereas the bottom one had about 8 or 10. I guess the top one is the more difficult speedrunner's path. Well, that's one way of explaining a Roadmaster's absence. Too bad we couldn't fight Candyman, or Oopa, so instead we'll fight Metal Man, who I guess is also weak against the Metal Blade. Oh, it's the other one, the Wheel Cutter, I mean. Yep, it is. And instead of the usual boss team, we actually have the boss team for Mega Man X. That's a neat touch, but I believe it would be more appropriate to use Biomiracle Oopa's boss team for this stage. After all, they did use the tile set. Darn, you can do the stage really fast. Let's see what the judges have to say about this. Yeah, the solidity of the tiles can be a little bit difficult to determine. At least this stage actually committed to its aesthetics, that being candy, instead of Taco Man, where I didn't see a relation to food or tacos in general outside the boss fight. There will be a much better pastry-themed level in the far future though. Don't worry about that. Or confectionery. Mega Man 1 cribbing. I suppose it's taken from the Guts Lift segment or whatnot, but even then it was a lot easier than I anticipated. And yeah, Metal Man doesn't fit the stage at all. How is he candy related? I believe there will be some better boss fights that are not candy related, or at least try reskinning Metal Man to be a bit different, reskin him to be a candy version, and replace his metal blades with candy canes or something. Even if he fights the same way as Metal Man, it'll still be better than fighting Metal Man itself. Well, I guess this is a good time to call it quits. So, I would say that the favorite level of this part, of the rather under-mediocre levels, would probably be the Dampening or the Candy Panic. The Dampening for actually following its aesthetic for being a water stage, and it had nice placement of the Noble Nickels, although it really should have utilized its blank out gimmick more. And Candy Panic for having a nice tile set, although it was rather confusing. Well then, in the next part, I'll cover the rest of Tier 3. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day. Toodles!